Toronto Hip Hop Boule 2. Alright. Islam. I give thanks to everybody for coming out. This presentation is going to be with myself and another brother by the name of DN that used to rhyme with brass tacks. If anybody heard about brass tacks from back in the day, one of the more underground yet prominent hip-hop groups like that set the foundation for us to be able to listen to hip-hop on the radio in Toronto. Right? As far as the actual hip-hop Boule, we're just talking about, really and truly, we're talking about everybody. As far as Toronto hip-hop, these faces you see up there. So if you see them on TV, more likely they're involved, or they know somebody who's involved, because the Toronto hip-hop scene isn't something that is open to artists to do what they have to do, right? Like it's a closed market. And you have to belong to certain crews in order to even get your voice heard on a radio station or whatever the case is, right? So we're not specifically dealing with these people, but these are like the people who are the cookie cutter idea of what MC is in Toronto, right? So like Cardinal Official, Drake, Socrates, K9, Chocolate, just to name a few. Like we'll go into more of them as we go. Now, what we're gonna do is there's lyrics that got taken out of certain songs that I have, certain songs that like other brothers I know who are like MCs for real, that we'll go through the lyrics just so we can set like a kind of reference point as to what you should be talking about. If you're saying you're going to go behind the mic and you're going to do a song and make a video and have an album and say that you're a quote-unquote hip-hop artist, so you can go get a Much Music Video Award or Juno or Grammy or BET Award or whatever. Like there's a standard that the foundation of hip-hop created with regard to this position called MC. Right? Like it's not what people see being presented, meaning the guy who's in the video, right? And then it's just him, and then like his boys are around him, or they're on a little thing like this on the steps, and he's sitting on the steps, and everybody's around him, and he's like just doing this and rhyming and stuff. Like that's not what MC is, right? That's just like how we say praying is not what religion is about. Religion is law, order, governmental principles, right? Hip hop is something that was created, you know. Hip hop is something that was created, right? And it was birthed universally because music is something spiritual. So music across the board is spiritual. So even some Lil Wayne song is spiritual. They might only have 1% degree of spirituality in it, but it still exists in there somewhere. Because music is spiritual, but at the same time, you know, we're gonna bundle those guys. Because they're not using music to what they're supposed to be using it for. Right? So this verse right here is Iron Sheep 2, and the song is called Alpha X. The album's called Alpha X, the song's called Red Eye Youth. Drug deals gone bad, bodies dumped in fields. Following some baby Master P type reels. Playing the game that you won't win when you're in. Kush told me, bro, I gotta go in. I caused it on myself, not knowing thyself. Most think know thyself is a book on the shelf. It's fruition. Really ask Taj to repay or grand sheep nature L, what's heaven or hell? They probably have you there for 10 hours, using memory notepads and packing powers, talking to yourself in the mind outside the matrix of hip-hop. Cause Black God saved it. They go to us, fronting like they don't know us. House of Consciousness in Toronto was cause of us. 360-degree universal student. Study himself and show the youth man how to do it. So the content of the verse is based on like actual things. It's not things that aren't directly related to self or like the world out there, right? So drug deals gone bad, bodies dumped in the fields. So we're gonna make this as a tribute to Brother Andrew Dowling, one of the youths that I used to work with in the west side of the city. I don't know if anybody heard about the youth man getting killed and dumped him down the river like a couple weeks ago, right? So that's youths that I work with in my job. And then he got shot and killed in the river. And he's 17.
The person that did it was 15.
And the guys that did it, Jafel Armstrong and Dante Walden, are his brethren. Like they used to come to the program together. Right? So this is just a tribute to them, all three of them, because all of them were, you know, I mean, they're young people. But the reality of it is that what they created as hip-hop destroyed these lives with it. Because all these guys used to listen to his Lil Wayne and all that stuff. That's it. Yo, just hear this song, Prime. No, you don't want to hear this song. I'm not getting brainwashed like that. You know? The imagery that they're portraying, like man has a hoodie on, you know, I need earrings, pierced, you know, is this fictitious hip-hop. That you might hear somebody say hip-hop, and then that's not really the essence of what this thing is that we created, right? Like you have like Dead Prez now wearing like the big shades with no shirt and stuff like that. Like as far as like presenting themselves, right? So when we talk about drug deals gone bad, bodies dumped in fields, in a song that I wrote before this thing happened, that they even got a copy of this. Like, obviously, the brainwashing is real serious. Like, them using hip-hop to brainwash young people is like, it's not like a joke thing. And people think it's a joke thing because they just don't take stuff serious. Right? Kush told me personally, Brother Kush, right? Brother Kush told me personally, right, that he's gonna have to go to jail based on coming into this Moorish information because like that's the only way that he can start fresh. Like you have to cut your ties and then move forward with this. Like don't think this is something that you can just jump in and just, oh yeah, well, yeah, no, I know I'm nationality, so I'm just gonna do this and then that's gonna be the end of it. Like this is why the Prophet said he wants active Moors, not passive Moors. And activity means movement. And music has to do with movement. If I'm going to the club and I'm in the club like this all night, music sucks. The DJ sucks. The place where they're deciding to have this thing sucks. Like I'm not a drinker, so like I'm really gonna be in the club just drinking water all night. Listening to Lil Wayne and Belly and like music that is not doing anything for me, personally. But while I'm drinking my water, I see people like partying. I'll see people getting down. I think last week when we were at John Matt, watching this little girl like this big like whining and stuff like that. Like the lady saw whining, and everybody's around her just cheering her on, like, oh yeah, that's so cute or whatever. And she's like whining. You know what I mean? Like dirty whining. She's like this big. So not only are the young people being influenced and brainwashed, but the adults are being brainwashed by music that was supposed to be created in order for us to get ourselves in order. Right? So if you can, talking to yourself in the mind outside the matrix of hip-hop. Matrixofhiphop.com. That's Black Dot's website. And Black Dot wrote this book called Hip Hop Decoded, which is like the best book on hip hop ever in the history of writing hip hop books. I don't care if it's a book that's going to be in the future that comes out or a book from the past. Like I read like Niggers to God and all those type of hip hop books, and all those hip hop books are like nothing compared to what the Hip Hop Decoded has been. So get that book. Right?
It's also readable online.
Yeah, it's online too. So matrixofhiphop.com is that website.
Big up Black Dot.
Yeah, big up Black Dot. So House of Consciousness in Toronto is because of us. So people might realize right now that in Toronto there's a little energy as far as getting information on DVDs. Like instead of reading a book, I'm gonna go get my DVD from this store or wherever. Like that idea of conscious DVDs dealing with metaphysics and African spirituality and Moors and David Icke and serpent people and all that type of stuff is because like we were the people who started that. Like we sparked that interest. Right? And people, instead of trying to have allegiance with us, they'll say, okay, well we'll just buy 10 DVDs from you and then we'll just, you know, duplicate them and peddle them. Not that nothing's wrong with that, but knowing that we have DVD titles that other people didn't have at the time, people refused to come back to us to get more. They would just take the 10 that they bought and put them up like one by one. So it will seem like those are the only DVDs, but they know the person who has the link for like 50 other things that they don't have. And these are like conscious people. These are people who said like, yeah, like I'm conscious. I read Dr. Ben books and I read John Henry Clark books and you know, and I see Double Blair DVDs and all that type of stuff. So across the board, like even in the conscious circle, as far as people being aware of themselves and having knowledge of their culture and stuff like that, there's sellouts in them that are taking this concept and they're doing something else with it that has nothing to do with what it's really about. And this is what we're saying about the hip hop scene. So with the like we're gonna go through some like as far as the visualization of when you hear a song and then you have to visualize something in your mind, right? That was how they used to make videos before. Like they would put out the single and you would listen to the single and you would like create this like whatever in your head. As far as the visual presentation of this song. And then they would put out the video to the song. And then the song video would be directly related to what you were thinking about and how they put the music to the video and then presented it on Much Music or BT or whatever. Right? Now, it's a market. Like now, it's about the best quality video and how good does the video look and how much graphics are they using, and it has nothing to do with the song. It has to do with presenting this image.